What's up, guys? This is Lucid Rain. I'm here with Slyder, as always, and we are going to talk about media that scared us as a kid. It was originally going to be just movies, then it was originally going to be just movies and shows, and then it ended up being any kind of media, basically. So, and I don't know what the cutoff would be in terms of age that would count as a kid. I mean, I guess, like, I don't know, 12, 13,
I
something
don't
like that.
I don't have anything that I'm older than 12 on
Okay.
that. Probably 10.
Yeah, mine's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, the first one I'm gonna talk about is The Grudge. That movie, like, legitimately, like, I don't know if I'd say traumatized. It's kind of a dramatic, like, term, but like it it pretty much did. Like, and I don't, and the thing is, you know what's weird about that? I don't even know who was watching that I saw it, because I wasn't watching it. It was just like on, and I just saw it because, like, my family doesn't like
This
horror that much.
might have been one of your sisters.
It might have been, but yeah, like, I mean, one of my sisters kind of likes horror stuff, but the rest of my family doesn't. But yeah, that was horrifying. Like, I was terrified, and I don't even know which one I saw. It was one of the really old ones, and I guess it was, because I think there's an American one and a Japanese one. I think they're different, and I was seeing the American one, I believe, and yeah, that was just scarring as hell. Like, I was, I almost feel like I couldn't sleep for, like, probably a solid 2 months. Like, if I'm being real. Have you seen any of those movies?
The Grudge. I've seen
Yeah.
part of them.
Okay. Well, they're, I'd argue they're creepy now, cause, like, she's just creepy on in those movies. I don't know. But as a kid, I mean, of course, everything's amplified when you're a kid, right? So that is yeah, that's just insane. But you could do one of yours now.
Well, one of them that is also a Japanese horror movie. That, funny enough, I didn't even watch it as a kid, so I was terrified of it from people explaining it.
What?
But mind you, I was probably in like third grade, maybe, and it was The Ring. And the whole premise of The Ring is a VCO, a videotape
Yeah.
going into a TV, and then a little girl crawling out of that TV and killing you. So when people talked about it, they talked about it like it wasn't just a movie.
Oh yeah. Especially
You know
when
what I mean?
especially when you're that young around people, like, you know, sometimes kids can't, like, tell the difference. So, like,
Yeah, it was other kids, and they were talking about it like it was like not a work of fiction.
yeah.
You
I
know?
think that got a lot of people. I remember, not to, like, cut off your, like, entry, but I remember people talking about Slender Man, like, back, what is that, 2009, 2010, 11, something like that. And, like, I was literally, like, convinced that that Slender Man was a real thing, because people talking about it, it was the
Well,
same deal.
I remember us playing Slender Man shit on Little Big Planet all the
Yeah.
time.
Dude, that was so big back then. Like, and I don't know, people would talk about, like you explained with the Ring. People talked about it like it was an actual thing back then, and I was like, all right, like, this is really, like, getting to me. So I was legitimately kind of scared of them. Nowadays it seems kind of silly, but, like, back then it's like, it's hard to separate, like, fiction from reality when you're that young, I guess. I don't even know.
Yeah, but like with The Ring, it was basically like the whole premise was explained to me, and I remember it happened in school, and I was terrified, and I was like, "There's really a video that a little girl crawls out of the TV and kills you," and I remember being mortified by that,
Yeah, that I mean, hearing that
like
as a kid,
genuinely.
can you imagine how differently things would have went if you watched the movie instead of just hearing about it? Probably be even worse.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it.
I've never seen it. I remember people talking about it too, though, but I never actually sat down and just watched that movie, and I'm glad, because I know it would have traumatized me. So I'm glad I didn't see it, because, like, I know plenty of people that say they were scared of
Well,
the Ring.
here's the thing. It is a terrifying premise.
It is, especially back then, because, like, What was the original? It was like a
It was
VCR tape or something, or was it?
yeah, it was a VHS tape.
Yeah. So
And here's the thing: it's not like social media and computers and all that shit were the way that they are now.
right. Yeah. Yeah. That
Like
stuff didn't really exist.
the idea of something jumping out of your TV is a genuinely terrifying
Yeah. And
thought.
I'm pretty sure the Ring came out like at that age where most people had VCRs and VHS tapes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So like
exactly.
so that was
That's how you would watch your movies. I don't know. I don't know if DVDs were around yet,
I feel like they weren't, but maybe
or
some
maybe
maybe
they just started.
yeah, they might have been like literally just started, but I'm pretty sure they weren't like heavily around. Like not everyone was owned a DVD by that point. DVD player, I mean. Because it's a pretty genius premise. I mean, they're playing on reality. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like they took advantage of the time period, which I don't even know if you could replicate that nowadays.
Yeah, I'm not sure for real, but
Yeah.
yeah, that show entirely terrified me. Like I was not having a good time with that.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, I guess I'll do one. All right, so I think you said at some point this one scared you too, but another one I have is Child's Play, uh, with Chucky. I don't know which one. I think it was. I feel like it was the first one, but I just remember
Yeah,
seeing. What'd you say? You broke up.
sorry. Yeah, Child's Play terrified me. That
Yeah,
was
same.
that scared the shit out of
Dude,
me.
I just remember seeing a doll, like, or whatever you want to, toy, whatever you want to call them, just like walking around being alive, and that terrified me, and legitimately that made me never want to get uh toys and shit like that, like toys and like puppets and dolls. That made me not want to be anywhere near them for a long time.
It makes sense. It's a terrifying premise.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's scarier as a kid because kids like that kind of stuff, right? Like they like toys and stuff like that. So if you're a kid, the last thing you want to hear as a kid with a bunch of toys is, yeah, this thing has the possibility to come to life and try and kill you and your family. Like that is horrifying to hear. Well, not to hear, but to think.
yeah, it's definitely a terrifying premise.
I mean, I watched. It was an older one, but it wasn't the first one. I watched one later in life, and I was like, "This is stupid. Like this, it's like not even.
Yeah,
It's
like it's
not even
not
really
terrifying,
scary."
but as a kid, it is pretty scary,
Oh
honestly.
yeah, as a kid, it's horrifying. Like you get older, and it's like, this is so dumb. I don't know. But yeah, you can do one.
Okay. Another one that I did watch this, but I'm saying it's terrifying because I have an experience that was similar, and it's Poltergeist, and it's specifically the scene with the TV
That
because
scared you? You're saying that's
yeah,
what
well,
scared you?
as a kid, I had a moment where I astral projected, and I remember seeing my basically like I was like cross-eyed, eyes closed, outside of my body, with my body sitting on the ground, staring at a static TV. So I was looking at myself watching static TV. Well, not really watching, but you get it. You get what I'm saying.
Did you see Poltergeist back then?
I saw part of it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thing.
I mean, I can tell you 100% it happened. So
I can definitely see Poltergeist having an effect on people. I mean, I saw Poltergeist like way later in life, so I wasn't scared of it really, but definitely back then I could see that having an effect.
yeah,
Yeah.
that movie was terrifying, and the whole I mean the whole thing surrounding that with like the curse and all that shit, and that's a pretty wild movie.
Here, I guess I'll do mine. I'm gonna pull out a show because we haven't done a show yet, I don't think. Uh, so this scared basically everyone. So this is kind of a cop out answer, but Courage the Cowardly Dog was
Yeah,
horrifying.
the Return the Slab
Yes,
episode
dude.
had me fucked up,
That
and that
yeah,
You're Not Perfect.
yeah. That one
Those
actually
two
didn't.
scenes.
The You're Not Perfect didn't scare me as much as the slab guy. But that was creepy too. The slab guy that was horrifying. And also one, I don't know if you remember this, but there was one where Muriel gets like possessed and she has this like demon voice and they have to like
Yeah, she turns green.
yeah, yeah. And that scared me a lot too. Like that really bothered me. And also there's a lot of stuff from Courage, honestly. Like uh I don't know if you remember the episode where there's this creepy guy. I don't even know if he has a name. Where he just what did he even want? It's this guy with like weird teeth and like glasses. I
Fred?
think. What is he called?
Or no, the director when they were
I'm not
directing the movie.
possibly. Let me look it up because I don't remember what he like did in the episode. I just remember being creeped out by that guy. Oh, his name's Freaky Fred apparently.
Are you talking about the barber?
I think. I'm not even sure. It's such a like vague memory. I kind of like don't even remember why it scared me. He has yellow hair, green eyes, and a
Yeah, that's Fred.
giant mouth.
Yeah, he was a barber. He just like was obsessed with shaving Courage.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that was like not okay. That and the slab guy, that was like not okay. That was horrifying back then. You could honestly go on all day about like stuff from Courage that was creepy. But yeah, you can go.
All right, I guess I'll do a TV show. There was a TV show that was like it was R.L. Stein's other book series, and I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was like an episode similar to Child's Play where it was like basically a toy that would come to life.
Oh
And I
boy.
remember the toy like making a sandwich and poisoning it,
Oh god.
and then the kid eating it, and it was something like peanut butter jelly, and it was poisoned. And I just remember that fucking me up.
Jeez. R.L.
Where I
Stein's
was
the
like,
guy who made Goosebumps, isn't it? Or am I thinking of someone else?
yeah, yeah, it
Okay.
is. I just
Was it a
remember
horror
seeing that
type
it
thing? Like
fucking me up. Yeah, it was a horror series.
oh okay.
I mean, it was about it was like another series of his books that they made into a TV show,
Okay.
I think. But yeah, it was a toy. Like that episode was about a toy that like would come to life, pretty much, and it literally fucking
Oh
poisoned
god.
the kid.
Yeah, that's
And
wild.
you know, I remember seeing that, and I was fucked. I was fucked
Jeez.
up over that.
I didn't know R.L. Stein had another show besides Goosebumps.
Yeah, I don't know like how we watched it. I watched it at my babysitter's. I pretty much remember that, but
I was actually gonna bring up Goosebumps because I didn't really get scared by it. I didn't watch it that much, but I know a lot of people say like they were scared of Goosebumps, like they were like traumatized by that show. I mean, it's it's a it's a strange genre when you think about it, because when you think of horror, you don't think uh kids shows, right? Like demographic of kids, but that's basically what Goosebumps is, right? Like it's horror for kids, basically.
yeah, it's kids horror.
Yeah, I guess you could say the same about Courage. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting. I guess it's kind of like it can have one of two effects. That'll either make a kid never want to watch horror ever again, or it can actually make a kid like interested in horror. I feel like it's like one of the two.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right, I'm gonna do another show, but this is not this show I'm about to name. Is the whole show isn't scary to me, but one episode absolutely traumatized me. So I'm talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, don't know how much you've watched that, but there's a very specific episode where there's a monster, like a worm thing that takes people's faces. I think like every time it like someone roams into the thing's cave, it like kills them and takes their face or something. So, Aang, the protagonist, he was wherever this face stealer thing was, and the thing's face would just change like over and over again. Like it was like a centipede with a human face, and it would just change, and it was the creepiest thing ever. I don't know why they thought that episode was okay. Because the thing is, Courage, you expect creepy stuff, right? So it's like it's kind of fine, but Avatar: The Last Airbender was not a scary show. There was nothing horror about it. There's nothing scary about Avatar: The Last Airbender, and they had an episode like that. That was just not okay.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Avatar, but I think I've seen that episode, but it's been a long time, so I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might not have been. I saw it as like a teenager probably,
Yeah, I
So I
think
probably wasn't like
same,
too freaked out
but I'm
by
not
it.
sure. Yeah, I don't know how old. I actually don't even know how old Avatar is. It is old though, but you can go.
All right. I guess I'll do a game now. So one game, it probably scared you too, but the only reason I bring it up is because it genuinely terrified me. Where uh, and like it's not the scariest game in the world or anything, but like it's famous for being scary, and it's the original Resident Evil. Like I
Oh yeah,
already like was really susceptible to having an overactive imagination,
right.
and my cousin's boyfriend came over to the house, and I had a PS1 in my room, and he brought Resident Evil and played it with me, and that was a wrap. I had trouble sleeping in that room after that
Resident
for a
Evil scared
while.
a
Like,
lot of people. I actually didn't get into Resident Evil till later in life. Like I played the first one I played was Resident Evil 4, and I didn't even beat it when I played it on PS2. I beat it later in life, but yeah, I know there's a lot of people that say the first Resident Evil just scarred them, like insanely scarred them. Do you remember a specific? Yeah, how much did you play of the game, like of Resident Evil 1?
a little bit. I mean, I was too young to be playing that shit. He shouldn't have had me playing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a scene people say all scared them to death was you're walking like in Resident I think this was Resident Evil 1. You're walking down a hallway and there's fixed camera angles in that game. So like you can't move the camera and you're walking down the hallway and there's windows on the side and like these like hellhound dogs just like burst through the windows and just like start chasing you and it's super loud and abrupt and unexpected and that scared a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it was the game in general. It was everything about it. I shouldn't have, he shouldn't have been playing it with me. You know,
Well, how old was
he
he?
really shouldn't have.
Like, was he much older
Well,
than you?
it wasn't that old of a game. I was maybe five. He's in his 20s, 20 something, like probably early 20s.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's that's a little cruel to like make a not make, but like have a 5-year-old, 5-ish-year-old like watch slash play something like that. Like, probably not the best idea.
Yeah, it had me fucked up.
Jeez. All right, I'm gonna do I'll do another show. Alright, so another show that scared me, like heavily scared me, was Lost Tapes. I only saw 2 episodes that I can remember, and one of the episodes I'm remembering might be a different show entirely. I don't really remember. The one episode that scared me the most. Also, if you don't know what Lost Tapes is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a really old show that was like it took like
It
cryptids
was
and
on
stuff.
Animal Planet.
Yeah, was it? I didn't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a old show where they would make like cryptids and monsters like come to life. Like they would make like a fake encounter with these
It was a
creatures.
fake found footage series,
Yeah,
essentially.
pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, they would. So they had one about the Mongolian death worm. I'm pretty sure it was some worm. I don't know if that was the worm, but it was some kind of
Yeah, it
like worm.
was.
And yeah, I just remember them being in like this sandy area and like suddenly they just get dragged like through the sand and like off into the distance and it was horrifying back then. I was like, "Oh my
For
god."
for me, there was an episode. I think it was vampires, but basically, it was like a family renovating their house, and then something with like a camera, and then they stuck like a camera down into the wall, and then they found out like living in their void space and on their walls was like fucking vampire,
Oh
and it
my
wasn't like a
god.
vamp. It was like a Nosferatu kind of vampire, like
Oh yeah,
or
that's
like
creepy
the
as hell.
descent, like deformed. Does not look like it. Did not look like it was a humanoid. It wasn't a human. Nothing. It had nothing to do with being a human being. If you get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like
that's
it
scary.
was.
That's scarier than the death worm, I think, because that's like something living in your walls. Like the death worm. When are you ever gonna see the death worm? Like you're not gonna be in the desert at any point, right? Most likely. So like that doesn't scare you on the same level as that, I would say.
Yeah, that shit had me messed up. Like, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it had me. It had me a little scared.
Yeah, anything that was like stuff that you can relate to is always scarier, in my opinion. You know, like you just said, something where it's in their house, like you can relate that back to yourself, which can make you be even more scared. So, but you can go.
All right. Let me look and see what I haven't done so far. I'll probably do a movie. So, this one wasn't scared. Like, it wasn't meant to be a horror movie, and I don't know why I was terrified of it, but I remember being terrified of Baby Geniuses. Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't watched the movie, but I know of it.
I don't know why I was afraid of it, but for some reason I was legitimately like terrified of it.
What was like scary about it?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh, I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
It's like
it was not a horror movie. Like, not even close. I don't know why I was afraid of it, but I do remember being afraid of it. And, like, it caused me, like, fear.
really.
There's probably, I'm sure there's a reason, probably a certain scene or something. I mean,
There's you wouldn't be like that bothered by it for no reason. So
Yeah, I don't remember, like, I don't remember anything about it, but I just remember being terrified of it as a kid.
yeah, I don't know.
let me think of which one I want to do. All right, I got one. I don't know if you've watched this show, but I watched this show when I was a kid, and then I watched it later in life and liked it a lot more later. Do you know Flapjack, or the full title
Yeah,
is?
yeah, I know Flapjack.
Okay. The full title is Misadventures of Flapjack, though, and that show had some nightmare fuel. Like, there's a few things. Like, there's this cat that's just in the show. Like, I don't remember what happens, why this cat was on the screen. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, it had blacked out eyes.
yeah, Flapjack was talking to the cat, and the cat looks normal at first. Like, the cat looks completely normal, just a cartoon cat, and then Flapjack says something to it, and it zooms in on the cat's face, and it's like this Photoshop picture of a cat with like blacked out dark eyes and like sharp teeth. I was like, what in the world, dude?
That scared me so bad back then. And I don't think Flapjack is that old. So I mean it is old, but I don't think
Yeah.
it was terribly old.
Yes, Flapjack was kind of like that. I think that era of cartoons was dope, where you had Chowder, Flapjack,
Yeah, yeah.
Courage,
Okay.
really
Actually,
messy, kind of like dark art styles,
Yeah,
and but really still whimsical and kind of like lighthearted.
I really like Flapjack because I watched it later in life and I liked it a lot. I thought it was really funny. It is nightmare fuel though. It's older than I thought. I looked it up. It's 2008. I was thinking like 2010 or something. So it is pretty old. But yeah, that's not the only thing that scared me. There's this guy in the show called Dr. Barber. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a doctor and a barber at the same time for the town, and that guy was so creepy, dude. Like, they gave like little hints and nods to him being like a serial killer, but they would never outright like show evidence of him being like an actual dangerous person. But like, every I don't know, people, Flapjack and Knuckles would stop there to get something done, like, 'cause he's a doctor, and he'll pull out like, I don't know, he'll pull out like a bloody saw or something. He's like, whoops, wrong tool, and then pulls out the thing that he actually needs to like treat them. Stuff like that. It was so creepy. You could honestly go on for days about stuff that was creepy in that show. The one guy had a wife. This wasn't even that scary. I don't know why this scared me, but the one guy in the show had a wife made of candy.
Made out of candy. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that candy wife was terrifying.
Yeah, that scared
No,
me
like, the
so
candy
much
wife
for some
was
reason.
terrifying.
And it was weirder because she had a different like art style sometimes, like when she was on screen. So like, it was just, actually, I guess she always did. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was scary. So yeah, Flapjack was nightmare fuel.
Yeah, Flapjack. It was super eerie.
It was, yeah. Everything about it, really. I mean, the setting's even kind of eerie. Like, it's on like a dock, a town with a dock that's like, I don't know, just like surrounded by water, I guess. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know if there's anywhere they can actually like go.
And yeah, for some reason, I think Candy was just like
The main premise of the show, like the whole show was just about like them finding candy and shit. It was weird.
such a strange show, but I do like it.
It was just an overall. I feel like that time period had quite a few darker shows. Like I mean, Adventure Time was kind of darker in some ways.
That was a little bit later.
Was it? That was
Yeah.
probably like 2010 or 11, I guess. I don't know though. Courage was like 99 or something. Let me look that up.
It was the early 2000s.
Okay, so yeah, that Courage and Flapjack are not the same time period, so I get never mind, I guess.
I just felt like
Well, Courage was ending when Slapjack was starting, kind of a thing,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah.
I kind of like those darker cartoons because I like that they're not afraid to like do something darker for like a kid show. I don't know. I like that. Obviously, you can't have like people getting like murdered and shit in a kids show, but like they can have creepier things happen.
But you can do yours.
I only have one more,
Oh,
and it's a
okay.
game.
Okay.
But obviously, most of the stuff, since we're talking about childhood traumas, pretty much, and like what we were afraid of as a child, you know, it's like PS1 era stuff that like kind of mortified me, and it makes sense because like yeah, that's when I was little, and like the graphic. I don't know, shit was creepier when the graphics were worse like
Oh
that.
yeah, I agree.
Would you agree with me,
No,
or
yeah, I agree with that. There's something creepy about bad visuals, for sure. I don't
like
know why that is.
if you sat in a dark, poorly lit room on one of those old tube TVs, playing like a PS1, like with all the lights off and playing like a horror game, that is genuine nightmare fuel. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Like
think
I'm just picturing that in my head, and it just seems it, like it felt like that's how gaming was back then. You know?
what was how gaming was.
Just like I don't know. I guess I'm just super nostalgic on like the old TVs and like the PS1,
Oh
PS2
yeah,
era,
yeah.
shit like that. But sorry, I got off topic. But Oddworld terrified me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oddworld is pretty dark. I don't know if it's rated mature necessarily. I don't really know, but it's definitely a dark franchise.
Yeah,
I
yeah. It was my dad's game, and he played it with me every once in a while. But he ended up getting rid of it because I was like legitimately terrified of it, and he was like, "Well,
Jeez.
I'm not going to stay up." And he's not a huge gamer, so he wasn't going to stay up and wait for me to go to bed to play. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So he played it like probably 4 or 5 times, and uh, I asked him to get rid. I don't know if I asked him to get rid of it or if I was just like it was like bothering me that it was like there.
Damn.
And he should have just played the game and said no, like grow a pair. But you know, I guess you don't say that to a 5 year old. You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah,
guess
I
you
mean
can tell a 5 year old to grow a pair, but you know,
I
who
mean
knows?
you can, but like you're kind of being like I mean they are a child after all. Of course they're gonna be like scared about shit. So, but what was only played one Oddworld game and it was a way later game. What was like scary about it? I just remember them being like enslaved, like the people in the world.
I think it was just the setting and like the cutscene animations where there was one where it was Abe and a bunch of others and like that one of their fucking bones pops out or something like that and they're like, oh
What
look,
the
a
fuck?
bone, we must be close, and it was one of their bones and it was
What
just
the
like
fuck?
I don't know, for some reason I was like, what the fuck is this?
Jeez. I'm curious what Oddworld's rated now. I'm about to look that up. Were they good games though? 'Cause, I mean, I really wouldn't know.
They were platformers. They were puzzle solving
Right,
platformers.
yeah. Okay, so no, they're not. I don't believe they're rated M. Alright, alright, I'm gonna do one more. My last one is gonna be a game. And that is Dead Space. Specifically the first Dead Space. Have you ever played those games?
I haven't. I've seen gameplay of them though.
Okay, so you know what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kid you not. I played Dead Space 1 for it had to have been 15 minutes before I got off of it. Like back in 2008. That's how fast that game scared me. And I play, Dead Space 1, I don't know if you knew this, but Dead Space 1 got remade uh in 2023, I think. And that was a really good game. But anyway, uh I got to play that game from start to finish again, and like it's basically the same game, just looks better. And the beginning of that game is horrifying cuz like you walk, a section of it is just walking, and then you go into a place to like check it out, and because there was like a distress signal or something, and then they're called necromorphs, the monsters in Dead Space. They pop out and just start killing everyone, and then they basically kill your whole crew, and then you have to run, and it's really hard to die on the running section because obviously it's the beginning of the game. They don't want you just getting killed, and you have no weapons, so you run, and they pop up next to you and behind you and in all these different places, and then you get on an elevator and you get out of that section. It's a really short section. It's like I said, maybe 10-15 minutes, probably less than that. And I played that section and turned the game off. Like I was horrified. I can't say it traumatized me because I didn't play it enough to like really get to me and like scar me or anything, but that game, the beginning was so scary to me that I just turned that shit off so fast. And going back to Dead Space in 2023, it's still a scary game, to be honest. Which is interesting because I feel like people don't give third-person horror games enough credit, like in terms of being scary.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of that many for third-person horror games.
Well, Resident Evil's the obvious one. Well,
yeah.
Resident Evil's both. But there's also the Evil Within. But anyway, yeah, people, I guess that's why. I guess because there's less of them, technically. That's why people don't really give third-person games much credit to being, like, scary. But they can be scary. Like, there's some moments in Resident Evil that were scary. And, of course, Dead Space is, like, really creepy. So, and like anyone who likes, horror games where you can fight back, because that's a big distinction. Like, I don't really like horror games where you can't. This is a whole rant. It's off topic, but I don't
like
really
Outlast,
like. Yeah, pretty much. I don't like horror games where you can't fight back that much. I don't know. People think they're scarier because you can't fight back, which might be true, I guess, but I don't know. They're not as fun to me. I like being able to like combat the things that are scary. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Well, I played a little bit of the Outlast, but those that's back when I would watch game streaming and stuff like that. So I would watch people stream Outlast. I watched you stream Outlast.
Outlast is good, actually. I think Outlast is the best no combat horror game in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think ever anything really ever captured that first Outlast, and then that started where there was a bunch of knockoffs and people trying that.
Everyone was trying to copy Outlast.
And yeah, there was nothing that ever even came close.
No,
Layers
I
of Fear
wouldn't say there was.
But
Layers of Fear was cool and all, but it was boring. Like because you didn't do anything. Like you kind of just walked. It had some creepy moments and stuff, but like I thought it was boring, to be honest.
I thought it was interesting.
I thought the premise was pretty cool. It's a painter, I think you were in that game with like some sort of condition, I think. I don't even remember. It's been so long. But yeah, like so many games copied Outlast back then, and I think Outlast did it best.
Yeah, Outlast definitely did it best.
Yeah.
Outlast is a damn good game.
It is, yeah. Both of them are good. Well, guys, this was Lucid Brain. Tell us what you guys think. What scared you? If more than 2 people watch, that is. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.